and we've had Clark on the yoke bike, so could I invite Grant Johnson and Clark, if you'd like to come and join us at the table. Thank you.
Talk on this.
Turn it on first. If you're sitting down, the green mics are there.
Okay. Is the PowerPoint on or?
It will be nice to sit down.
Thanks for doing that before the meeting officially started. It sort of satisfies every level of, in terms of formality of the council meeting, but it has given us a demonstration of what you're here to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to you all. So I'm Grant from Yoke Bike, and this is Clark from Yoke Bike. Not sure if you're aware, the Yoke Bike has been built and designed in Christchurch. We've been around for about 7 years, and this is coming up into our 8th year now. And what we want to do, we want to demonstrate our new products and just to introduce you to our company. So Yoke Bike is a fully electric transport product. It has not got pedals which go around as such. It is fully electric. It's also very portable, as you can see. It's a perfect product to be able to be used for transporting around a busy city. It folds down into a very much compact size, so you can use it to go on a bus or a train, or you can put it in the back boot of your car, or take it on a boat, or on a private helicopter, or on a plane. But it's the only product in New Zealand which has got its own legal classification. It's called basically the classification is the Yoke Bike, in terms of as a product. We've won many awards. We've been on Time magazine. There's not many companies in New Zealand, I don't think there's hardly any, which actually can say they've been on the front magazine of Time magazine. We've also been in the Guinness Book of Records. We're currently in the Guinness Book of Records as well as in terms of classification. You can see when we talk about electric transport, there's a picture of the Yoke Bike. In terms of the product itself, Clark will demonstrate here the safety features. So in terms of the light of the bike, you can see there that the bike is fully lit up. It's lit up during the day and at night time. It has the front lights and also has the rear lights. And when you're sitting upright as well, you're very easy to be seen. It has anti-skid brakes. It has ABS braking. So when you go to brake, it's not like a pedal bike that you will lurch forward. The bike itself gradually slows down. So it's a gradual slow down in terms of braking. It's not one which you actually will tip over. But some people look at it and they go, if a brake will tip over, you will not. It will gradually slow down. The handlebars have been designed to be on the side. And the reason it's been designed on the side is for a number of reasons. One is safety. Again, you won't go head over the handlebars and hurt yourself. Plus also, when you're riding the bike, you lean on the bike. So you actually glide. You don't use the handlebars to fully steer. You more lean side to side to be able to manoeuvre. It has built-in indicators. So it has your left and right indicators. It has very good acceleration. It has a lot of torque in the motor. So you can get up and go if you want to in a very quick speed. But you can also limit it as well. So from a tourism point of view, if we wanted to, we can actually limit the speed so the uptake would be slowly. Because we see this as, being that we are designed and built in Christchurch, we see this could be a wonderful tourism product for Christchurch. The speed limitation as well is 23 kilometres per hour, so that's the top speed. We deem that as a safe speed. Any faster than that, then, there is other products out there, these electric bikes, and there's products which go between 30 to 35 kilometres. We deem that as not safe. So when we got the classification done through the government, we made sure that it was 23 kilometres per hour, plus also you need to wear a helmet. The noise of the bike, which Clark will demonstrate as well, It's been questioned a number of times why we have a noise. The reason we have a noise is from a safety point of view. Because this bike is deemed legal to go on footpaths and paths and also through on the side of the road, the last thing you want to do is have something which is totally quiet come out behind you. So the sound of the bike itself is a safety factor. The bike itself is a wonderful tool as well for branding. As you can see here from the slide, this was how the bike can look like when it's fully skinned. So again, from a point of view, from a tourism point, you could have, the Christchurch City Council could have the bike fully skinned in terms of a product. It's advertising our city and also our innovation in the city, and also our, in terms of what we believe towards green technology as well. This is the Model C. This one here is a full carbon product. So it's more the top end product. It is slightly different design, but in terms from a branding point of view, like the one you can see up there on the slide, you can brand the full frame and also the wheel. The beauty of the wheel as well, because it doesn't go around like a normal pedal bike, is a mobile billboard. This is the Model V branded up, as you can see, the one which Clark brought out. The Model V comes with a single and two wheel as an adapter. Because some people find it much easier to learn to ride with three wheel than a single wheel. So the Model V comes with both options when we make it. And yeah, that's my brief introduction to the Ike bike. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to basically put some formal introduction and also invite to speak to the council and to see how we can work with you to develop using the Ike bikes in our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that was a very interesting way to start the meeting, but thank you for the presentation, and I'm sure that councillors would welcome the opportunity to have further discussions with the Ike bike and see where we go to from here. I think we might get the Innovation and Sustainability Committee to do some initial contact and take it from there. Thank you.
Cheers.
Now, if I could invite Mark Belton and Tim Preston to come forward. Thank you. Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Look, I just want to focus very quickly on what is the biggest issue really facing our city and how our city will be judged in history as to how it's dealt with the trauma of the quakes. I'm referring to the cathedral. There is no other building in the city that is so important for the identity and character, and also the attachment of the citizens of the city and our image around the world. In that context, right now, you're aware, of course, that we're facing a supposed decision over the cathedral from the Anglican Synod. I should say that Tim and I are both Anglicans, as well as strong advocates for restoration. But the process is that the Synod has been given the opportunity to vote. It can't be a vote to take away the cathedral and have it rebuilt. It can only be a vote to take the matter to court, if that is the wish of Synod. And what we would like to bring to your notice... You mean if it doesn't decide to restore? Sorry? You mean if it doesn't decide to restore? Yeah, there's only one solution that leads to... decision that leads to a solution. That's right. And that's restoration. Yeah. For the city. But in the context of this issue, we have just had released in the last 3 weeks the Cathedral Working Group's report. And unfortunately, the media has not helped communicate that to the wider public. And every day you see communications in the press, Brian Law's article, letters that show people of Christchurch are completely ignorant of that government report. put together by a committee of 5 people, 2 appointed by the Church Property Trust. They had 40% representation. And that report is essential reading for all leaders and decision makers in the city. So what I would suggest and urge is it is time for this council to show its hand. It's 6 years since the council actually had a vote on anything to do with the cathedral. And at that time, the council voted 10 votes for a pause on restoration until engineering assessment had been done. And 4 people voted for against that motion. So I would suggest it is time for the entire council to give this matter its focused consideration, and for councillors as individuals to ensure that they read the Cathedral Working Group's report. It's extremely well written, it's very succinct and clear, and it is the only authoritative report on the cathedral situation that we have. 6 years ago, you voted, the council, to pause demolition until there was engineering assessment. We now have the complete assessment, and it is now the duty of the council to ensure that it is fully informed of that report's findings, and to let the people of Christchurch know what you, our elected leaders and representatives, positions on this matter is. I would also suggest that because of the issue about the wider public understanding, it would be brilliant if you supported the distribution of this report to all council libraries in conspicuous places and drew attention to it. It would also be really helpful if the council actually used the media and the press to get the essential messages from this report objectively out there in the public domain, because sadly they haven't got there yet. But no one should be writing letters or even forming opinions about this matter unless they have read this report, which we taxpayers have spent well over $400,000 and a lot of time waiting for to have this report. And if we get this wrong, this will be sort of part of the evidence that will shame our city forever, because the report concludes that it's entirely feasible to restore the cathedral. It would be as safe as any modern building, and that the fundraising could be done in 3 to 5 years, and that's a recommendation of the experts. So it's essential this council steps up and the public know, the people of the city know, that you have given it your in-depth consideration and have formed a view and a position on it, and hopefully a supportive position, because previously the council used to contribute on an annual basis to the cathedral in the square in recognition of its value to the city as a whole. And there's no reason, of course, if the cathedral is recovered in a way we can all be proud of, that the council isn't back in that situation again, supporting it on an ongoing basis. That's all I have to say. Tim, do you want to add anything to that?
I'll be much briefer than Mark if I could, Leanne. Just 2 quick points. I would ask the council consider whether the position of the eyesore of the current cathedral is acceptable to the city. Certainly not acceptable to me, and that a request to enable various benefactors which we could readily put the council in touch with to actually do a bit of improvement in the immediate eyesore situation of it in the next month or 3 would be a great move. And the other thing is that there is opportunity for councillors or the mayor to attend the synod, pre-synod meetings. I'm planning to go to them and speak at those, but it would be great to have some representation from our city leaders at those meetings, and again we'd be happy to arrange and enable those appointments. If people are interested, just please be in touch.
Great. Well, look, thank you for that. And you know, well, I'm sorry. That's, I mean, the downside of this, using this component of the meeting, is that it is literally a 5-minute snapshot.
Can I have 10 seconds? There was just one other point. Leanne, thank you. I would like the council also to consider endorsing the report and letting them. Please,
what I was going to say was that, as you say, the report was presented in the public arena only 3 weeks ago. I have taken the responsibility as Mayor to ask staff to prepare a report on it as a matter of urgency. And the reason that I've done that is that there has been no formal process for the city's consideration other than that report, because of course it is Anglican Church property, and it is ultimately the Anglican Church's decision. I was don't like using the word, but blindsided by the decision to refer it to the Synod. I didn't know that that was going to be coming out as a position, and so I initiated a meeting with the Bishop because I felt that we hadn't had a meeting since my re-election last year, and it is really important for the city to be fully engaged in what is an incredibly important part of our city. I want to just reinforce the point that you made right at the start. If the Synod make the decision not to restore the cathedral, we will have uncertainty for years, and that is something that I don't think the city can tolerate. So I think there is only one decision that actually takes us forward as a city, and there is no other decision that will lead to anything else other than uncertainty and legal wrangles for years. So so that's where I'm coming from. I've asked staff to report urgently, so I'm hoping that within a very short space of time we will have a report that will give us some sense of direction about what we as a city can promote by way of a contribution. In terms of the speaking rights at the Synod or at any of the pre-Synod meetings, we'll certainly be really happy to explore those opportunities. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Right.